Greetings and welcome back to Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. This is the podcast where we watch Muppet Treasure Island 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Ryan Rowe.
I'm your other host, Anthony Strand.
And today we're very happy to have a frequent return guest and Tough Pigs pal with us. Guest, please tell the listeners who you are.
It's me. It's Julia Gaskill, a frequent writer at toughpigs.com, and I'm also a co-host of the podcast Fraggle Talk Classic specifically. Hi, guys.
Hi, yes,
Hey,
it's
Julia.
you.
Welcome back.
I'm happy to be here to talk about everyone's favorite movie, Muppet Treasure Island.
Everyone's favorite. It's a unanimous opinion.
That's what it is, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's
Right.
the chap.
Well, we're very happy to have you. And today we are talking about minutes 61 and 62 of Muppet Treasure Island, in which Long John Silver finishes singing Professional Pirate and the bad guys capture the Hispaniola. So we pick up right where we left off last time with Kermit as Captain Smollett leaving the Hispaniola in one of these jolly boats or long boats or lifeboats or whatever they are to go save Jim with Gonzo and Rizzo in the boat with him. He thanks them for coming along, and Gonzo says, Jim is family, and Rizzo agrees with him.
And that's a callback to earlier in the movie when Gonzo said that Jim was family, and Jim said, we don't exactly look related or whatever.
Right.
But Gonzo believed it then, and he believes it now. So this movie is once again reminding us of things it already told us.
Well, yeah, but it's a callback this time. I think more than just being repetitive.
That's true. Fair enough.
Yeah. Even though Jim has been snubbing them to hang out with his human friend, Gonzo still considers him family.
Mm-hmm. His human friend, Callispo Jerry.
When the human friend is Tim Curry, I get it. I
right.
you to hang out with Tim Curry.
Absolutely.
90s Tim Curry.
You might ignore your other friends for a while to go hang out with Tim Curry.
And I feel like they would understand.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone there. So I noticed Gonzo is rowing the boat, and Dave Goelz is doing some very nice puppetry acting and like sort of making sounds like Gonzo is struggling to row the boat. And Kermit has his hand on the rudder, so he's presumably steering. What is Rizzo doing? Nothing. He's just sitting there.
He's not even eating.
You're right. So at least he's not. That feels like then he would be like that would be a negative contribution if he were just sitting there eating. But he's not contributing to making the boat get any closer to the island,
which is pretty classic Rizzo.
That's true.
He just like when Gonzo says that, Jim's family, he just chimes in, I think, with like a yeah, and that's literally all Rizzo does in this clip.
Yeah. He
just be supportive.
That's true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he's pretty small, so maybe there's not much he can do to. And the boat is pretty small, so there's not much he can do to contribute.
I don't think his arms could reach the oars if he wanted to row.
No, you're right. It would probably take 2 rats to do that. That might be fun to see, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are a lot of rats on this ship. They could have brought more with to row.
Well, they're off, water skiing.
That's true.
So, back on the island, then, we see that Long John's song is still not over, but it has reached an interlude. Julia, you have not been with us the past 2 weeks. Do you have any thoughts on the first 2/3 of this song before we jump into this section?
I mean, I like this song a lot. It's, for me, very catchy. It's an earworm. It gets stuck in my head all of the time. Again, Tim Curry. It's hard to go wrong when he's like helming a song. I mean, a fact about me is when I was a teenager, for whatever reason, I was obsessed with pirates. And I'm honestly really surprised I didn't watch this movie more as a teenager, but I did watch it a fair amount. Well before Our Flag Means Death came along, like I was a teenage pirate for whatever reason. I grew up in Portland, Oregon, so I won't get into the history, but Portland was obsessed with pirates like in the mid-aughts or something. And so I don't know, this song has a sense of nostalgia for me personally of just like, oh yeah, I was a teenager and I thought about pirates all of the time and I listened to this song. So there's that. It's a good song. Is it my like top tier Muppet songs? Probably not, but I do really enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah, cool. Maybe you wanted to be a professional pirate at some point in your life.
I did. I
What were
didn't want to
some
be a
other pirate
professional
media that
pirate.
you were into?
Pirates of the Caribbean was a big one. I
Sure, I
read like a
guess, yeah,
lot of
that's the
just like
obvious one.
young adult books about pirates. Yeah, I don't know. I had a friend that was really into pirates, and then by circumstance, she got me really into pirates. And we wrote also like a lot of stories about pirates. We went to Portland used to have like a Ren Fair style thing called the Portland Pirate Festival. I'd go to
Oh,
that. Um, it's not really piratey, but I really liked Master and Commander when I was younger. It had the
yeah,
elements of being on the sea and camaraderie on a ship, I guess.
yeah, it
Yeah,
sort
I
of
don't
did
Yeah.
seem.
know.
Well, and they're being chased by that privateer vessel through the whole movie. Like,
Oh,
Ah,
that's true.
you know,
It's been so long since I've watched that movie.
I just rewatched it. It totally holds up. It rules.
Nice.
Yeah.
hmm. I've never seen it. Maybe I should.
You should see it, Ryan. It's fun. You like fun things?
I do like fun things. It doesn't
Yeah.
look fun. Is it fun? Master and
It's
Commander?
it's extremely fun. It's a blast.
Okay. I'll put it on my list, my
Yeah.
long,
Is
long
it
list.
isn't it made by Peter Weir? Am I
It
wrong?
sure
I think
is. It
that's
sure
right.
is. Yep.
It's wild. That's so different than the other movies, I think,
Well, I
tied
love
to
the
him.
Truman Show, so
Yeah, it's not much like the Truman Show.
No.
It's not much like The Plumber, an Australian
Or
drama about a cheerful man who won't stop invading a woman's house.
oh,
But it's great
yeah.
also. I love that guy.
okay.
You know what it is a little bit like? The Year of Living Dangerously.
I haven't seen that either.
Ah, it's great. All right, rules.
Okay.
Ryan, here's what you got to do. Watch every
First-
Peter Weir movie.
Okay, I will.
That's
Zip
the next
green card.
podcast.
Eventually.
You can skip green card.
Oh, that's him?
It sure is.
Oh, that's funny. All right, well, let's see. Where was I? Right, professional pirates. So Long John says to Jim, "Tell the truth, lad. Do you really think the captain and the squire are planning to share the treasure with the likes of us?" And then it cuts to Jim sort of making a face like, eh, and we hear Long John say, "Can't hear ya. No." Like, so this is sarcastic Long John, which is pretty funny. I don't know if we've seen this exact side of him yet.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, like we've talked so many times about how Tim Curry is just giving it his all in every moment of this thing.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect example. Like he's so dedicated to making Long John seem like a charming rapscallion.
Yes, and making the most of every line.
Have y'all talked about the meme that floats around like both this movie and Muppet Christmas Carol at all about how Michael Caine, that Muppet Christmas Carol works so well because Michael Caine treats everyone like a serious actor, and this movie works because Tim Curry treats himself like he's a Muppet.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he commits to like the hamminess and just really playing it up so much, and it works perfectly because it's a Muppet movie.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, for sure. One thing unrelated to Tim Curry's performance here that I really like is how they're like humming Professional Pirate. The
Mhm.
crew are like humming the song
Yeah.
underneath the dialogue here to remind us that the song is still going on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like it's not just an instrumental. Like
Right.
we can hear voices going like, I can't sing.
Right.
I don't know what notes are, but you know what I mean.
You've heard of them.
I've heard of notes.
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean, and it's good. Yeah, just like the song's still going. This is still the song. So he continues, and we being the rightful owners, Flint's own crew, who shed our blood getting it here. Which is an interesting question, really. Who is the rightful owner of the treasure? And what are Captain Smollett and Squire Trelawney planning to do with it? So I think it's safe to assume that Captain Flint did not originally come by this treasure, honestly. So it probably really belongs to whoever he stole it from, although he might have stolen it
Right.
from other pirates who, didn't get it honestly in the first place. But
Yeah.
what are Smollett and Trelawney gonna do if they find it? Like, I don't think they would come all this way just to take it back and redistribute it, or would they? I don't know. What do you think?
This is literally something I've never thought about for any Treasure Island adaptation I've
Yeah.
taken
Right,
in of
right.
what's going to happen once the treasure is found.
If the good guys get the treasure, especially. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty clear cut if the bad guys get the treasure, what they're going to do with it.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. And there's the fact that Billy Bones gave Jim the map. Like, he specifically chose Jim to have the map that would lead to the treasure.
Right. And he was Flint's first mate. We all were. So whatever.
Right. Right. So is that like a next of kin situation where like whoever possesses the map has a legal claim to the treasure?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think so. But so here's my question is, Long John says we were Flint's crew. Does that mean all of these guys? Like New Zealand and Bagooney, and like all these guys were Mudwell the Mud Bunny, all sailed with Captain Flint. I hope so. I hope that is the case. I'm never
quite clear on that. Like, yeah, like you said, Billy Bones said I was Flint's first mate. We all were. So we know that there were survivors. I forget what Billy Bones says at the very beginning of the movie. It's stated that everyone that Flint took ashore
he killed. Yeah.
So whoever was left behind on the ship survived and knew where the treasure was.
Right.
So, and I guess that could be everybody we see here.
Yeah, and we know for a fact that Blind Pew was in that crew.
Right. Yeah.
From earlier, so there were Muppets there. It's not an all human crew.
Right. So I don't know. I guess I wouldn't really know where to start in researching what the actual law would say, either now or back then, about who might have a legal claim on this treasure. But I'd be curious to know if anyone out there actually does have an informed opinion or an informed take on this. Who actually owns the treasure? Who has the legal right to lay claim on it? Let us know. So then Long John says, "Join us, lad." And then he delivers a line that I did not understand for years. He says, "Donate your compass to the treasure hunt," which for the longest time I thought he was saying something about nature. Something nature to the treasure hunt.
The nature compass for the treasure hunt.
But it's donate your compass to the treasure hunt.
Oh my God, that's what the line is?
That's what the line is, see?
Oh my gosh.
It's not just me.
No, I've never fully known what he was saying, but I've kind of just gotten the sense and gone along with it. So that's fascinating. All right.
He kind of puts the emphasis on the second syllable of the word donate.
Yeah, it's donate.
Yeah.
You know what it's like? It's like, I don't know what parts of the country have 1877 cars for kids with the the jingle that gets stuck in everybody's head, but that jingle ends with "donate your car today," which is the same pronunciation. So
interesting. I've never heard of that until you said it. So
I feel like they must have made jokes about it on 30 Rock, which maybe you saw, but just didn't realize that it was a reference to a real life thing. But
probably.
Yeah, you can look it up. It's an extremely catchy jingle, heard on the radio and probably on TV. Definitely in the New York City area. So Jim does not look convinced. He's still mostly kind of just looks disappointed. And then the Muppet Pirates resume singing, "Hey ho ho, it's one for all for one." This is a variation on the expression "one for all" and "all for one." It comes from the Latin phrase "unus pro omnibus, omnis pro uno." I think that's how you say it. I did not take Latin in high school. I knew that this was the catchphrase of the Three Musketeers, but until I Googled it today, I did not know that this is the unofficial motto of Switzerland. So how about that?
Oh, is that right?
Ooh.
And apparently it's an important phrase in the manga series My Hero Academia.
Oh, that makes sense.
Which I don't... Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I mean, not really, but I used to work in a middle school library where we had the first 23 volumes or something. And I can tell you that kids checked them out like candy. Like they tore through that thing.
Yeah, I've seen it on the shelf at my local comic book store, but I don't really know anything about it. But apparently they say "one for all and all for one" in that manga. So that's cool. The lyrics continue, "We'll share and share alike with you and love you like a son," making it sound like some kind of, socialist utopia. Everybody gets what they need and everybody loves each other. This is the future conservatives hate.
Yeah, it's like the Federation. Long John Silver is going to found the United Federation of Planets for some reason. There you go.
That if only they had just let him, get away with his plan, everything would have been great.
Yeah.
As the song reaches a crescendo, Sweetums, and I think this is Easy Pete. I didn't double check. Is that the pirate on the other side of
Easy
Long John?
Pete, yeah.
Easy Pete, okay. They lift Long John up by the shoulders, so he's now towering above everyone else. I commented earlier on how this number feels like something you would see in a stage musical, and this move definitely continues that general vibe. Just like, two members of the chorus come out and lift up the main actor who's singing the song. And then I had never noticed before, Long John tosses his crutch away over his shoulder before he sings the next lines. And so he's like singing him very dramatically and pumping his fist, which is, you'll be honest, brave and free, the soul of decency. You'll be loyal and fair and on the square. And most importantly, and then here's what all the other pirates join in for the big finish. When you're a professional pirate, you're always in the best of company. And Sweetums lifts Long John up even higher in the palm of his hand because Sweetums is very strong and he can do that.
I had never noticed that either. That it's just him and he's like lifting him actively at the end of that song.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, Long John is just sitting on Sweetum's hand and he just lifts him up in the air. On the DVD commentary, Brian Henson says that was John Henson's idea. John Henson is playing Sweetums here.
Oh, cool.
And they did it with wires. I don't know. I don't see any wires in the shot. I don't know if they erased them digitally before this movie came out. They could probably do that by this time in 1996. But it looks cool. It looks, it's a seamless effect in the movie. Also, all the pirates are waving torches around in this moment, which I keep saying this, but there's so much fire in this movie that is very close to Muppets. And here it is again, they're just waving torches. So many torches right in front of the Muppets' faces. And that's pretty much it. That's the song, Professional Pirate. Any final thoughts on the song before we move on?
This song, but also, so I'm coming in so late to this season of the podcast. I take it that y'all have talked about the people who wrote the music, like the musical numbers for this. It is like Cynthia Weil and Barry Mann, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Have y'all touched on the other things that they've done?
Yes.
I'm sure you probably have.
Yeah. But any thoughts that you have, obviously, share them, please.
Well, so they've written a ton of stuff, and I don't have the biggest knowledge of just music in general. That's my partner worked in a music store, and he knows everything, and I'm so limited because I grew up listening to Disney songs and Muppet movies, basically. But I will say they wrote "Make Your Own Kind of Music" and "Here You Come Again." "Here You Come Again" being
did.
a song in the Muppet Show, the Leslie Uggams episode, one of my favorite episodes. But also, they wrote "Somewhere Out There" from American Tail.
Yes.
And they wrote "Absolutely Green" from Troll in Central Park, which is...
So, okay, wait. You're the first person to mention a Troll in Central Park, I think.
They wrote the song, from what I can tell, it's just the song "Absolutely Green," which I haven't watched that movie in forever, but I will stand by that song kind of slaps a little bit. I'm sure the movie itself, maybe, I don't know, I can't speak to it. I haven't seen it since I was 7 or 8, maybe even younger. But that song I still remember, and it's kind of a jam, low-key.
That rules.
I loved that movie so much as a kid.
I've never seen it.
And is that the whole movie is a musical?
That's actually... Okay, there definitely is one song earlier in that movie that the Troll Queen sings about how evil she is. And then there's that song. I do not remember anymore. The song is sung by Dom DeLuise, who plays I think this troll's name is Stanley, and he gets sent to Central Park and he befriends 2 children. And then there are a lot of shenanigans in Central Park, is my memory of it.
I was going to ask if that was another Don Bluth movie, but if Dom DeLuise is in it, then the answer is almost certainly yes.
It is a Don Bluth movie, yes.
What year was A Troll in Central Park?
Oh my gosh. I mean...
1994.
Okay, I was going to say I would have been somewhere, 4 or 5 years old, so that tracks.
So that's after Thumbelina?
Yes.
Okay.
Which I loved Thumbelina. That's... Don Bluth movies were my entire thing as a kid.
Yeah, I was just trying to kind of put it in context with his filmography, because I did see Thumbelina in the theater, but I did not see A Troll in Central Park. I don't know if it might have just not been around in the theaters very long, because I don't think it was a hit at
I'm sure
all.
not.
Yeah.
My only reference for A Troll in Central Park is the Saturday Night Live sketch where Alec Baldwin is playing Charles Nelson Riley on Inside the Actors Studio. And Will Ferrell, as James Lipton says, you played King Lort in A Troll in Central Park. Is King Lort there? Can I talk to him? And then Baldwin takes the index cards, puts them next to his face to make ears for a troll, and says, "Hey, I'm King Lort. I'm in Central Park."
Wow.
That's all I know about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I don't need to watch the movie. Maybe I just should watch that sketch.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And I want to be clear, I cannot rep, like, because it's been probably not 2 decades quite, but it's been a long time since I've seen it. It could be awful for all I know.
So you're not necessarily recommending A Troll in Central Park, just that one song from it.
The song is nice. Okay. Yeah, basically. It's just wild because I feel like that is a movie that is lost to time almost, that no one talks about. So I was just kind of blown away to see that they wrote the one thing that I really remember about that film.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whereas An American Tale, which is where Somewhere Out There comes from, that one was genuinely a big hit that people still remember.
Yeah. Right. And is a good movie, and
yes, right.
You know, has a stage musical adaptation recently.
Oh, does it?
Really?
Yeah. It may have premiered here in Minneapolis at the Children's Theater Company. Oh. I'm not, because they, like, I know they premiered like A Year with Frog and Toad there. Mm-hmm. Like it wouldn't like, and they just did some American Tail, so that wouldn't surprise me if that was like a new musical that premiered there.
So just people in mouse costumes.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now I'm curious. I don't need to look this up right now. Yes, world premiere of An American Tale stage musical opens at Children's Theater Company April 29th, 2023. So yeah, it probably has only been here so far.
Until just a few years ago, I did not realize what a hotbed of theater the Twin Cities are. But yeah, there's a lot going on there.
It really is, and I love it. Like I'm very fortunate to live in the Upper Midwest in a city that values theater so much.
Yeah,
you know?
There you go. Yeah, that's great.
I really like that we see the camera moving through like pairs of Muppets on either side. The song is like reaching it. Yeah, reaching its crescendo, and it looks it's just like at the end of Sailing for Adventure. Like it mirrors that very much.
Oh, okay.
You know, they both have like the camera pulling back as we see more and more Muppets enter the frame.
Yeah.
You know, we end here with Bagoonie and Jacques Roach like in the foreground, which, like, whatever. We don't need to get into the names of every Muppet, but
we could.
But it just excites me.
Yeah.
That we end with a shot with Bagoonie and Jacques Roach.
Yeah.
Up so much of the screen in a big screen motion picture, you know?
Yeah.
So.
This is a tangent, but not much of a tangent. I recently saw something. I don't remember why this was being discussed on Reddit. Or was it Blue Sky? Darn it. But somebody was questioning whether Fraggles are Muppets. And somebody was like, oh, there have been several crossovers. And they mentioned Muppet Christmas Carol and Muppet Treasure Island as crossovers between Fraggle Rock and the Muppet Show, which is such a weird, like, okay, technically these are puppets that were built for Fraggle Rock and used in these movies that star the Muppet Show characters, but they're not really crossovers because they're not really playing the same characters. They're just creatures. But,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, we've been doing this podcast for many years, and consistently through both of these seasons, we have called those characters Bagoonie and Wonder McMooch, and Brule, and Sprocket.
That's probably why, and you know, Muppet Wiki has sort of set those in stone as being those characters' names forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably a big reason why. But yeah, I just found that mildly interesting for people like us.
Sure.
Yeah.
That could actually be the tagline of this podcast. Mildly interesting for people like us.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Why didn't we think of that 4 seasons ago?
We should have done it.
Yeah, 5 seasons ago. So no sooner is this song over, though, than we hear the sound of a cannon being fired. Jim says it must be Captain Smollett coming to rescue him, but Long John tells him not to get his hopes up. He says, I've taken the liberty of hiding a few of my best men on board. If a second round follows, it means they've taken over the Hispaniola, and I'm the new captain. which is how he says it. He says Captain. It's like Captain Crunch.
Captain.
Yeah, he doesn't pronounce Captain. Or like the They Might Be Giant song, the Captain. It's like that.
Just like it.
But that gave me pause this time. So that means his best men are on the ship. So everyone we see here on the island with him is not his best men?
Well, no, he said a few of my best men.
Oh, okay. So you think that means some of the people who are on the island with him are still his best men?
Right. There's a group of his best men, and he chose a few out of that group to leave on the boat. That's how I always read it.
So that doesn't mean that Walleye Pike is not one of his best men.
Correct. Okay. I think Walleye Pike is definitely one of his best men.
Okay.
And so is Calypso Jerry.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for putting my mind at
ease. That's what I think.
Good. Then everyone listens, and there's a second round of cannon fire. That means the pirates have taken over the Hispaniola. The pirates cheer. They're very excited.
They go nuts. They are hopped up.
Oh yeah, they did it. This is like they've been waiting this entire voyage for for this plan to actually take effect, and now here it is. They did it.
It happened.
Yeah. But how could it happen? How could the remaining crew of the Hispaniola let this happen? Well, we cut back to the ship, and that's when we remember that the only good guys left on board were Fozzie, Esquire Trelawney, and Bunsen and Beaker, and that's it. And apparently Long John's, some of his best men include a human pirate, a mustachioed whatnot, New Zealand, and this Muppet, the Muppet Wiki just calls Wolf, who looks like a wolf. So those are some of his best men.
Do you think New Zealand is going to kill Fozzie?
Oh my god! Wow,
that might be the title of this episode of the podcast.
I mean, we know he's really good at throwing fish, so maybe he's got like some extra sharp fish.
Oh no!
Oh yeah. Wait.
He's gonna fillet Fozzie with a fish.
Oh no.
Oh.
Does New Zealand do any sword fighting later with a swordfish? Because that would be the obvious joke.
I don't remember. We'll have to keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I did write down, is New Zealand a bad pirate with a ton of question marks? Just, all the other background, evil pirates, you're like, yeah, I get it. And then there's New Zealand where I'm like, just loves fish. What? Maybe he wants some of that treasure so he can buy more fish, I guess.
New Zealand's only loyalty is to the sea. It's not to the queen or the king.
So
that's why.
That means
that's why he's a pirate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it is kind of strange, especially because so many of these pirates are just weird looking, monsters and creatures that were built for Fraggle Rock and stuff. Then to see New Zealand, who's usually this happy-go-lucky, just goofy guy, as a pirate, and that is a strange thing to see. And it looks here like he was the one who just fired the cannon, which I had never noticed before. That's kind of cool. I think a past guest sort of wondered why Crazy Harry is not included as one of these pirates, because that would have made sense to have Crazy Harry be the one who fired the cannon.
Yeah.
But no, we don't know where he is. I don't think we saw him. He wasn't in the tavern. He wasn't in the town, right?
Yeah, he's not. I don't believe he's in the movie at all.
Yeah. Too bad.
Are the Electric Mayhem in this movie? Do they pop up on the island? Is that it?
Yeah, we saw them in a scene on the ship where the rats were dancing. They were providing music, and then on the island, they're playing on the beach when the pirates first land, and they have a little dialogue where Floyd asks, he says I don't understand, who are we playing, or who are we working for, the frog or the pirates? And Zoot tells him not to get involved in politics. No, it's the other way around. Zoot asks the question and Floyd answers him. Anthony, does that sound right?
Yeah, Zoot asks the question and Floyd answers him, yes.
Yeah, there we go. And I don't remember if they come back again or not. I guess we'll find out the answer to that one too later. So Bunsen, Beaker, and Fozzie are all tied up. Bunsen says, "How infortuitous our firearms weren't loaded, Beaky." Fozzie says, "I'll say we might have shot somebody." And Beaker sighs, because Beaker has just had it with this guy.
He wants New Zealand to kill him.
Yeah, just like the rest of us.
just like the rest of us.
No, I mean he's
We
just
want
annoying.
Fozzie to die.
No, I mean Squire Trelawney, if he exited this movie for a while,
Young,
like Mr. Arrow does,
young
and then
Squire
came back at the
Trelawney.
end. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've probably already made this kind of comparison, but like Fozzie Bear means so much to me.
Yeah, you know I love Fozzie Bear. I usually say he's my favorite Muppet.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's why I hate Squire Trelawney.
No, exactly.
So much in this movie.
Like,
yeah.
like it's just like it truly is watching one of your favorite actors just deliver like a abysmal performance where you're just like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's it's like Gene Wilder in the Sherlock Holmes Smarter Brother movie that he directed. He's horrible. It's a dreadful performance. And I love Ryan, I love Gene Wilder like I love Fozzie
Sure
Bear.
you do.
I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, they have similar hair.
They do.
They do.
and it feels the same. It hurts me the same way.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking now, this one particular joke, I'll say we might have shot somebody. This is not bad. This is an acceptable Fozzie joke, I think. But just in general, Fozzie being so dumb in this movie is
right
what I take issue with.
Well, and like, I mean, we don't need to get into it because I'm sure you've talked a lot about like what the man that lives in his finger. It's just a very strange conceit that I still don't know how they came up with for this film for Fozzie.
Yeah, Mr. Bimbo. Yeah. It has just no basis in any of Fozzie's previous characterization.
What's the name of the man? Is it Mr.
Bimbo? Bimbo.
It is Bimbo?
Bimbo, yep.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah, it makes even less sense, right?
Yeah. I thought it was like Bimble. I don't know. I thought there was an L in there. Okay. Anyway, that's not in this clip, so we don't need to talk about it, but it is a choice, ultimately.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess are Fozzie's fingers visible in this clip? Maybe Mr. Bimbo is technically in this clip, if you can see Fozzie's finger. I don't know. But anyway, so at the very, very, very end of this clip, we catch an extremely brief glimpse of some human hands tied together with a rope and a knife reaching out, apparently to cut the rope. But then this clip cuts off right as soon as we see that, very abruptly. So whose hands are those? We don't know. We'll have to wait until next week to find out.
That's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, It really is. So that's exciting. I actually don't have anything else on these 2 minutes. So anything else about these 2 minutes in particular? Julia, I'll start with you.
These 2 minutes in particular. I mean, yeah, I also noted like the dramatic flair of Tim Curry tossing his crutch away, which I remembered him fist pumping the air, but I couldn't remember the crutch being like flung. So it's just like Tim Curry is an over the top actor. Makes perfect sense for him to get so into it. I also noted that Jim's haircut looks like the vast majority of my queer women friends' hair these days. It's like the mullet, where I feel like, I don't know, 10 years ago when I was really into this movie, I was like, that's a terrible haircut. And nowadays I'm like, oh yeah, I see that haircut everywhere in Portland, Oregon. Huh. So I guess props to Jim Hawkins for being on trend right now.
Ahead of his time, yeah.
Basically. Wow. Yeah, then I noted Baguni being in it because again, I'm on Fraggle Talk and we haven't gotten to Baguni. I think that he doesn't pop up till season 3. I think I saw online. I didn't know, are there any other Fraggle characters in the sequence? I don't think so.
Sequence specifically, I'm not sure. I'd have to look back at the crowd scene again.
I don't think so. Let's see.
Is that one monster with kind of large lips? Is he from Fraggle Rock? I don't know his name.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's visible in here somewhere. He seems Fraggle Rockish, but I'm not sure.
Sure. It's totally fine. I was like, I should see what Fraggle Rock characters are here just because that is the podcast that I'm on so frequently. And I was like, I know this guy whose name I need to look up, who is Baguni. And otherwise, I don't think there are any more Fraggle Rock characters embedded in the scene.
Right. Yeah. Elsewhere in the movie, there might be others that you would recognize.
Totally. And I always think of Christmas Carol being the one where you spot a lot of them in the village scenes.
Yeah, all the citizens of London.
I guess you don't want to make like Sprocket a evil pirate, right?
No,
Right, although Sprocket's at the tavern, isn't he? Didn't
Oh,
we
is he in
discuss
the tavern?
Sprocket being at the
He's
tavern?
just hanging out at the tavern at the
Okay.
beginning. Yeah, but he's not a pirate.
So similar to Muppet Christmas Carol, where he's just kind of hanging out with a bunch of civilians.
Yeah.
So I'm looking, and Muppet Wiki does not list him being in the movie. So I'm probably just thinking of Rolf.
We did see Ralph in the tavern, yeah.
Yeah, and he also gets thrown out of the bar in Dog City, so maybe that's what I'm thinking.
We just think of Sprocket as enjoying a nice trip to the pub.
He does have like a big beard, and so he does feel like he'd fit really nicely like on a pirate ship. But maybe they were like, people associate the Fraggle Rock characters from being from this particular show. Maybe we don't want them all siding with Long John Silver and creating a mutiny and maybe trying to murder Fozzie Bear.
Right?
Yeah, I would be curious to hear what kind of thought went into that, because there must be some thought that goes into choosing which characters appear in these big group scenes and as background Muppets. So like they must have made the decision that New Zealand was going to be one of these pirates. Like they must have had at least a brief conversation about, does it make sense for New Zealand to be a pirate? And then they decided that it did. So
yeah, because most of the background pirates just kind of, you look at them and they're a little bedraggled or they're a giant crocodile or something. So you're like, okay, I understand. New Zealand does feel a bit like an outlier where
yes, Sprocket maybe would have looked the part, but for people with an attachment to him from Fraggle Rock, it would have seemed a little wrong for him to be a pirate. So
totally.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
To people like us.
I guess so.
Yeah, so Anthony, anything else on these 2 minutes?
I got some stuff from The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
All right.
So in Treasure Island, the novel, none of this happens. Obviously there's not a song. But once they go, there's the closest thing, I think, is once they go ashore, Jim sees Long John talking to a pirate named Tom. Now, earlier we learned about Tom Morgan, who is kind of like Long John's right-hand man. It's not him. Also, Squire Trelawney has a manservant named Tom Redruth. It's not him. Huh. This is a different Tom, a third Tom.
Is this why there are so many Toms in this movie? Is this
I suppose so, yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
Oh my god. Okay.
But this is another pirate, and Long John's talking to him, and then they hear a scream coming from the ship, and they know that this is an honest sailor, one of the few non-pirates named Alan. And shout out to Dr. Grant, Julia, because I know you're a big.
Well, I'm also thinking of the Barbie movie where Alan is like.
Oh, Alan from the Barbie movie, of course.
Male, all among all the Kens, who's a nice guy.
Anytime I hear the name Alan, I think of the moment in Jurassic Park 3 where a raptor says, Alan.
Of course.
Like any time I hear that name. And I've had multiple students named Alan. And
that's what you think of when you see them.
I could not help looking them in the eye and saying, Alan, when they checked out books. Like, I could not help.
To be clear, that's a dream sequence in Jurassic Park 3. Mild spoilers.
Correct. Yes.
The Velociraptor is not actually speaking.
And it's like in the first 5 minutes of the movie, so it's not a huge spoiler.
Yeah. It's right at the beginning, and what is great is Joe Johnston, it shows the raptor say Alan, and right before he does, Joe Johnston does the like Spielberg zoom into his face. Into the raptor's face, not Sam Neill's face. It rules.
Yeah.
What a great movie. But anyways, so they hear this guy, this honest sailor named Alan, getting killed on the ship. They hear the gunshot and know that this guy is dead.
Oh.
And Tom stands up for him, is proud, and then Long John slices him through with a sword, stabs him with a sword. And Jim sees all of this. So that is the closest thing to the song Professional Pirate, I would say, in the novel, is that Jim has to watch his erstwhile hero Long John stab a man through with a sword for being proud of an honest sailor.
Yeah, so the closest thing is still not very close because
right.
Long John is not making an effort to persuade him that pirates are good and honorable.
Right. Well, as we've discussed many times, I keep being surprised by how little the movie resembles the book. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just like farther away, like Christmas Carol, has like some departures,
Mm-hmm.
but this is like almost a completely different story.
They
with,
changed
like,
a lot about the story.
yeah, with like the same trappings,
Hmm.
and same character names.
Yeah.
Have y'all discussed the movie Treasure Planet at all on this podcast? This season of the podcast?
Yeah, but not for a while. What do you got?
Well, I was honestly just curious because if I've read Treasure Island, it was back like in high school, so I don't remember anything about it. And I was just curious, like, if that's like, I guess, a whole separate tangent of like how if that one is closer to the actual novel compared to a movie with a bunch of musical numbers and Muppets. But obviously that one is also set in space, and so
Yeah,
other trappings.
Right, Johnny Resnick keeps caterwauling at you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
It's the Goo Goo Dolls, right? I'm not misremembering.
I don't remember.
I don't. Yeah, it's been a second.
I think it is.
Yeah, I guess that's like a whole other train of thought. But I would have to both read the book and then rewatch Treasure Planet to actually see if that lines up. Huh. All right.
Yeah, Anthony, how recently have you watched Treasure Planet?
Well, my family watched all the Disney animated features a couple of years ago.
During 2020.
Yeah, in reverse order. I guess, yeah, it was 2022 because we started with Encanto, so that was Christmas 2021.
Okay.
And I liked it. It's not my favorite thing, It's better than Atlantis, which is the most easy comparison because they came out back to back and they're like stylistically similar, But I don't think either one of them is like a unjustly maligned masterpiece.
Right.
Like it's fun, but it's not like you gotta rewatch Treasure Planet right now. Okay. Martin Short's very funny in it.
And as you read the book for this, you're not thinking about like, oh yeah, that part in Treasure Planet was actually very similar to this from the book.
No, not much. I mean, like
you mentioned Martin Short. That's an example. They much like this one, they did something very different with the character Ben Gunn because he's a robot.
Right? He's a robot
who's like missing a gear or like his memory box or something.
Yeah, he's missing his memory box. And like the captain, like we talk about Kermit being a boring captain, or I do at least. And Emma Thompson's not a boring captain.
No, she's great in that movie.
She's great, she rules. But she's also nothing to do with the Captain Smollett in the book. Like there's no she's like a dashing cat lady who falls in love with the dog Dr. Man, played by David Hyde Pierce. None of that is in the book.
Right.
Yeah, it's just interesting because they're both, ostensibly they're both movies for a younger audience, but they also like, from my memories of Treasure Planet, then also this movie as well, just like took a lot of like leaps away from the source material in very different ways. So that's cool.
And differently. This one, like both of them, I guess, trying to add some excitement, but then this one also adding wackiness, and that one just adding sci-fi elements.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and it's I mean, we talked about this probably, but it's very strange to me that Walt Disney Pictures released both of those movies 6.5 years apart. Like, that's not that long,
Yeah.
And it's just like we got to do like two different kid family adaptations of Treasure Island for some reason that both aren't really Treasure Island. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's the biggest difference between the two when I think of it is like in this one, Jim Hawkins is like he's a kid. He's like, I don't know how old Kevin Bishop was in this movie, but he's a kid and he wants adventure. And then in Treasure Planet, he's like a brooding teenager that I know definitely I had friends that maybe like would have had a crush on an animated character like him when we were teenagers.
Yeah, well, and
it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and
right.
he's supposed to be cool. He rides around on like his space skateboard like through the air and everything. So maybe they were like they looked at and they looked at Muppet Treasure Island and they're like, we got to redo this, but like make it cooler since these kids are now older, I guess. I have no idea.
Yeah, and Laurie Metcalf plays his mom, so that's great.
Yeah, who's cooler than Laurie Metcalf?
Nobody. Oscar nominee Laurie Metcalf for Treasure Planet, I think. No, it was Lady Bird. It was Lady Bird.
But wouldn't that have been something?
It would have.
Okay, then In that case, we can move on to our two questions, Julia, that we like to ask all of our guests. The
Okay.
first one, what is your history with this movie? Do you remember the first time you saw it and so on?
I do. So I know for a fact the first movie I ever saw in theaters was Aladdin, but I don't remember it because I think Aladdin came out in 92, I
Yep.
believe. So I would have been 2. So no memories of that one. But the first 2 movies I remember clearly seeing in theaters are both this movie and Jumanji. Jumanji, I was 5 and I hid under my chair because I was terrified. And this movie, I don't think I hid under my chair, but I do remember my one concrete memory was being very upset with an upcoming scene that y'all haven't gotten to where Kermit and Piggy are presumably left to die. And I did not like that as a child. So that's the memory I have tied with seeing this movie when I would have been probably about 6 years old, was being like, I don't want anything bad to happen to Piggy and Kermit. This is bad. I don't know. I'm a kid and I don't understand how film works, I guess.
Sure.
So that's my, I guess, like the beginnings of my relationship with this movie. And then I don't think we owned it when I was growing up. I think the only movies we owned were Muppet Movie, Great Muppet Caper, and Christmas Carol. But this is still a movie like we would rent from the Hollywood Video down the street, and we'd watch, at friends' houses. And again, when I got to high school and I became enamored with pirates, I definitely watched it more then. And then watched it a ton when I got really into Muppets in college. And generally, I have I like this movie probably more than at least Anthony, I would assume.
That's probably
Sure.
accurate.
Well,
yeah.
So we'll have to bleep this, but I often think of your poem, Where the Fraggles Roam, which, like, the one expletive in it is referencing Tim Curry in this movie, like, with excitement.
Oh, do I say Tim effing Curry?
You do, yeah.
Okay, cool. It's been that I haven't touched that poem in so long. That's a 7
Right, yeah, that was
poem about rhyming poem about Muppets, but
yeah, from like 15 years ago.
Yeah, I've written better poems since then, but that poem does have a special place in my heart because it was like, when I was first really like starting to do spoken word. And also I remember I did that poem and then I joined Tough Pigs and then people were like, we've seen your poem before. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was,
yeah,
that was a nice feeling.
We've probably discussed this, or you've discussed it with people, I'm sure, but I remember we were all like, somebody, I think Kathy found it or somebody, and passed it around, and it was just like, why aren't we friends with this person?
Yeah.
And then we
were.
And then we were. Yeah.
I hadn't discovered Tough Pigs yet. I was still like delving on the internet, being like, where are all the Muppet fans I want to hang out with? And I had to go through a couple other websites that I won't name until I finally found Tough Pigs. But yeah, generally, sure. I enjoy this movie quite a bit. It's fun. It's not perfect, but I don't know. It gives me childhood nostalgia, and it's just a fun, goofy time for the most part.
Sure. Well, that leads us to the second question, which is, where do you rank it among all the other Muppet movies?
Oof. I mean, I think I've been on every season of y'all's podcast because I feel this is a question you ask in all of the seasons, right? Where
I've thought before about going back and listening to repeat guests and finding out if they give the same ranking every time.
Oh, yeah. I'm very, very incredibly behind on y'all's podcasts. I need to catch up eventually, but I should go back and listen to some of my previous episodes if I make an appearance in a future season. I was actually thinking about this because I knew that y'all were going to ask this. I think it squarely falls like in the middle because I know that my top 3 are Muppet Caper, Muppet Movie, and Christmas Carol are my top 3, which has vastly changed. I used to rep the Muppets so hard, and now the Muppets is in my bottom 3. I think that this falls in the middle with Muppets Most Wanted. Like they kind of they kind of jostle between the 4th and the 5th spot on my ranking. Also Muppets Most Wanted, also a very like wacky movie with big theatrical numbers as well. But they're all playing themselves for the most part. So it's definitely, if I'm really like wanting to watch a Muppet movie and I want to watch like a favorite, this probably isn't necessarily the one that I would reach for first, but it is one that I enjoy, and which is not to say that I don't enjoy all of the Muppet movies on some level, but probably in the middle, safely in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, It's funny. That's kind of how all Muppet fans are. Like, even the ones that we say we don't like that much, we're gonna watch them over and over again.
I've seen this movie so many times.
Yeah, exactly. That's just what we do. Well, then, if there is nothing else, we can wrap things up for this week. Julia, thank you once again for joining us. This has been great.
Thank you for having me. It's always a blast to come back. I'm always really excited when y'all ask me to come on and talk about 2 minutes of a Muppet movie that I've seen a bunch of times and really like have to watch that clip multiple times to examine what all is going on.
Yeah, thanks. So, as always, thanks to Morgan Davy for our show's logo. Listeners, you can find Tough Pigs on the internet at toughpigs.com. We're also all over social media. We're on TeePublic and Patreon. You can also find us on the Tough Pigs Discord server, where lively discussion is always happening. That's where we had some back and forth about what color Sam the Eagle's feet should be, which inspired me to write a whole article about it for the Tough Pigs website. So check that out. Nice. You can email us at movingrightalong@toughpigs.com. We will probably write you back. We have not gotten an email there in a very long time. I am on Letterboxd at Movies Are Neat. Anthony is on Letterboxd at Zeppo Marxist. I am on Blue Sky at Me Ryan Rowe. Anthony is on Blue Sky at Durwood Clapper. Julia, where can people find you or your work on the internet?
You can find me on most social media at Geek Girl Grown Up. I'm definitely on Instagram. I'm still on Twitter for some reason. And I think I'm on both Blue Sky and Threads. Although if I am, I've only done a couple posts and it's been a long time. Also, I occasionally, as I already said, write for toughpigs.com. I am on the podcast Fraggle Talk, where me, Beth, and Adam are going through every single episode of the original series of Fraggle Rock, which both of y'all have been guests on. Anthony was a very, very recent guest, which at the time of this recording, that episode hasn't come out, but will be out pretty soon. Cool. Yeah, and then if you also happen to like poetry, you can go to juliagaskill.com, and I write a ton of poetry, and you can find it there, basically.
Great. Yeah, yep. Everyone should do that. And also, everyone should tell all your friends about this podcast. Everyone should give us a positive review anywhere they can. And everyone should join us again next week for another episode of Moving Right Along. So long.
On that episode of Fraggle Talk, we talk about Is It True? A much better song than this one.
Oh.